gang hang? It's me, Joe Patrick. I'm running the gang hang all by myself. With me is a panel of listeners. Handsome blokes. You might recognize their voices. We got Frank, we got Ian, we got Brian, we got JD, we got Jimbo, we got Damon, we got Mark, we got Skelenot, we got, I don't remember, Trevor. Sorry, I don't recognize everybody's avatars right off the bat, but I just had to scroll over. So welcome, guys, to the gang hang.
Hello.
We are going to rap about whatever the hell we want to rap about. And nobody can stop me from putting it on the internet. So congrats. Congratulations, Matt Bomb. You've given me too much power.
You've been unleashed, Joe. I don't know what we're going to do.
That's right. I am unshankled. So this week, things that happened in the nerd world. Of course, we've got Alien Earth, if we want to talk about that. We've got the finale of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and we promised Frank that we would discuss it. We also have a new episode of Peacemaker, and whatever else you guys want to talk about. So,
off the bat, even something you did mention, did you see the reveal of Doctor Doom?
There was like a marketing thing, right? It's like it was like a piece of concept art on an advertisement or something.
No,
right?
It's a little, yes, that's true. And that does look pretty cool if that's what they're going with. But there was also a light show.
I saw the laser light show. Yes.
Yeah.
In Shanghai.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was some sort of event in Shanghai, and Marvel had a presentation there, and there was a holographic laser light show that had a lot of hints of Doom, a few overt looks at him, some teases of the new Avengers theme. And it's got me all aflutter for sure.
It's interesting. They even have a scene like from the Hickman run where Doom rips out Thanos' skull. We don't know Thanos' skull, but he definitely rips somebody's skull out of that later.
His skeleton, yeah. Right. In the short little clip that I watched, you don't see that, but I did read after the fact that you can see like somebody caught a static pic of it and it's like right out of the 2015 Secret Wars where Dr. Doom rips out Thanos' skeleton. Yeah. Which is really something. So I don't know. It's pretty exciting stuff. I said this to John Tverdick this week. We were chatting and I said, I've been kind of down on the Avengers Doomsday thing because so many of our quote unquote our Avengers are gone, and I'm not sold on the RDJ thing and this and that, and all those fuckers had to do was show me a laser show, like Laser Floyd at the planetarium, a laser show with a hint of the theme music, and I was just immediately sucked back in. I was all in.
That music sucks me in every single time.
And I don't know, like you guys have probably seen this floating around. There's a meme floating around where it's like Chris Evans, quote, "I am not in Avengers Doomsday." Also Chris Evans. And then it's a picture of Chris Evans at an event from last week. Looks like a fucking tank.
Yeah, he's open to the gills right now. It's pretty insane.
He is 100% in Captain America shape.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And it's just like, oh man, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah,
I'm excited.
He even has a hairstyle too. He looks like Steve right now. So it's just
right.
There's no way.
Right. He's got the he's blonde. Yeah, it's. I don't know, guys. I'm excited.
Well,
I'm still not sold on the Robert Downey Jr. thing, but
me too. I want to see what they do, but he looks the part. Holy crap! Like if that's the armor that they use.
I mean, if we never see him out of the armor, who cares? But but yeah, the armor, right. If the concept art is close to what we will get in reality, it's pitch perfect. Like they nailed it.
Yeah, although being the MCU, I mean, there's more than a 70% chance you're going to see Robert Downey Jr. take off that mask every 2 seconds.
Well, right, because every time he lands or weaves a spell or uses a repulsor blast, his nano mask will fall off, just like Tom Holland.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't.
Ian,
I think the plot mechanics for RDJ returning as Doom are fine. I think that all works for me. I think my biggest problem is that for him to really be able, for the movie to be able to really sell Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, he needs to be cruel, right? Like the cruelty of Thanos, like the cruelty of the ending of Infinity War was really kind of, in my mind, what cemented that movie, because it went there, right? Like it brought everybody back, but it killed everybody for years and left everyone with trauma. And like after seeing how they handled the climax of Thunderbolts, where like no one's allowed to die ever for anything. Like there's no sadness allowed in this universe anymore. That's what makes me worried, is that they're not going to be able to like go there and make him like truly evil enough to be a threat. And that's my biggest fear with it.
See, that's an interesting read on Thunderbolts, because in my mind, Thunderbolts was all about like, well, how do we deal with it now once it's happened? You know, it's about these characters learning to deal with that trauma.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I guess the whole thing is the movie really kind of shifted for me when and I guess obviously spoilers for Thunderbolts, when he like dusts that little girl, right? And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, the little girl's the big moment, the big turning point, right? Where it's like, oh no, Sentry is too far gone.
There are stakes here, right? He has killed a child, and it's like shit. And then 3 minutes later, she goes running into it and disappears. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna fucking bring everybody back, like just no consequences. And I think that's like, I think you need a little bit. You need to break with like, hey, we're making 4-quadrant entertainment here for everybody. You need to like give them a little something nastier to really make the stakes. I'm not saying they won't do that. I'm just saying like that's kind of my fear, that like he won't be cool enough, or he won't have anything that's like. You know, I guess he won't be enough of a bad guy, maybe.
Sorry, go ahead, Damon.
All I was going to say was that I was looking at some earlier drafts of, maybe this is during the King or whatever, but the initial draft of what they were planning to do with it. I didn't even want to say spoilers, because they could very well still kind of like shift, sidestep it parallel with Doom. There's going to be apparently a couple of Avengers that may bite the dust, that might be surprising to some. And I think we're going to see that, because I think off the bat, we're probably going to see, like, I don't think initially they're probably going to have Dr. Doom. My guess is that he's just going to try to befriend everybody initially, and probably using the RDJ thing. But I do think that moment is going to really cement, because I think Doomsday, we all know he's going to win. And not everybody's going to make out that movie. I don't believe that. I believe that we're going to have some casualties, if for nothing else, for this soft reboot at this point. But you're going to say goodbye to some characters. And I have a feeling that the X-Men universe is probably going to be, I mean, your mileage may vary if that matters to you or not, but I have a feeling that all those dudes are going to be gone, for example, like initially off the bat, among some other characters.
I think there's a lot of people who are probably working out the end of their contracts and don't really want to renew. Like, I can't remember, Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, those kind of guys.
Yeah, and
just the
orders and all the now. Can you hear me?
You are cutting in and out pretty badly, JD.
All right.
Try that thought again.
I was just gonna say that.
There you go. Boom.
All of the actors and all of the cast that was announced through the chair thing, I think there's gonna be some cannon fodder there.
Yep, I guess.
Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
Dr. Doom's gonna stare real hard at the Beast, and all of a sudden he's gonna
fall out.
He's gonna turn into Fraser.
He's like, oh my
God.
The
hair's gonna blast off of his body, and he'll be Fraser under there. And be like, oh,
Jimmy Randall will love it.
Jimmy Randall will love it. The world's biggest, Australia's
Frasier
biggest Frasier aficionado, James Cassingham Randall.
He'll get a 10 on that one. We'll get a 10 out of 10 just for that from him. It's just like that's awesome.
Yeah, you know, he's gonna give the Beast the Care Bear stare, and all of a sudden he's gonna hear the blues a calling.
I just wanted to go back to the bit where we were saying that the what do you call it? Thunderbolts was like nobody dies or whatever. I didn't read that scene as I read it. Okay, when she disappeared, the little girl disappears. I was like, oh crap, he just killed her. But then as soon as Black Widow the second walks Elena walks into the shadows and she's still alive, I was like, oh, they're in a completely different reality. That's what, or some kind of like realm, almost like like what's his name, Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, like the Dark Force dimension or something.
Right.
So and I mean, I totally get what Ian's saying, and I think that I think that they could have maybe played it a little bit differently to make it seem a little less obvious that there was going to be a reset at the end of that. Yeah, because even before the girl gets dusted, you see that the void is literally covering like 3/4 of Manhattan. And I'm like, well, there's no way that at the end of this movie, 3/4 of Manhattan is dead. That's just not, they have a universe to consider. That's not how this movie's going to end.
I would like to amend my previous statement real quick, though. There was a death in Thunderbolts, and of course, we're all intensely mourning the loss of Taskmaster, a character so near and dear to our hearts, a character that we all identified with in a way because we too are not in the MCU, really.
That's right. Yeah. Right.
Accurate.
My own character insert, my personal insert character as someone who is not in the MCU. Who is on the soundboard? Good job. Good job, Wynton Marsalis. Whoever you are.
The guy who yelled "do a flip" is more in the MCU than Taskmaster.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, Zach Cherry from Severance. Hey, Spider-Man, do a flip. Right. Yeah, that guy. That is true. That guy has been probably thought about more than Taskmaster. I
just imagine that somewhere in this great country of ours there was a theater, and in that theater on opening night, someone went to see Thunderbolts, saw Taskmaster get murked out in the first 15 minutes, and just burst into tears. Just like, no, why?
Or at the very least, just walked out. It's like,
they're going to do my favorite MCU character like that. I'm out of here. Yeah, it has to be. The laws of averages state it's a non-zero chance.
Yeah. That right, exactly right. If we can imagine like multiverse theory, right? Like actual physicists out there believe in multiverse theory. If there's a world out there where good is bad and bad is good, or where we're all gender swapped, or whatever. There's a world out there where Taskmaster is the most beloved character in the MCU, and so somebody is sad about her death in the Thunderbolts movie. I am not one of those people. She was a non-entity.
She's been a non-entity since Black Widow.
Right. Look, don't get me wrong. Like, I thought Taskmaster's fight scenes in Black Widow were fun. Like, great. Yeah, good job. You did it. You didn't do anything to make me give a shit about the character or what they're doing to her. So.
Tacked on that reveal at the end so late, it was just like, okay, I don't really care.
Yeah. I totally understand why the director of the writers and the director of Thunderbolts were like, we got to get rid of this character because nobody's going to care.
Yeah, and I want to
believe that like some like sword agent or whatever that organization was at that point in the MCU that was like surrounding, that was Contessa's group. I want to believe one of the agents like picked up the mask and the suit, and we're gonna get.
Oh yeah, see that? There you go.
We're gonna get the 616 Taskmaster, who is just a really good fighter with photographic reflexes that just like picks up all the discarded weapons of the Avengers.
There's always someone waiting in the wings, right? Just waiting for their shot. I think that's a fine way to do it, JD.
I just imagine the actor who played Ghost is probably like sweating bullets reading script. Someone's gotta die, and it's like being the next to least athletic kid in gym class.
Or yeah, it's like last hired, first fired.
Right. Yeah, it's like you didn't.
It's like.
You didn't get
the cast
first.
members. I'm one of 2 gender swapped characters.
Yeah,
right.
You know what though? I'm happy they kept Ghost because she actually had some pretty fun lines in that movie.
Oh yeah, no, I like Ghost.
Here's my biggest beef is that Thunderbolts seemed really concerned with the like interiority of some characters. Like we learned a lot about Walker, a fake Captain America, and we learned a lot about Red Guardian. But like the female, like the lady characters. Ghost gets like 3 lines, and also she hates loud noise. And then the other lady character, we shoot her in the head in the first 5 minutes. And Elaine is just bad. And I think the biggest problem for me is that like Florence Pugh is such a ray of light to you. Like her scenes with Steinfeld in the Hawkeye series is some of the best stuff they put out post Endgame. And it's like, we don't want you to be plucky and fun in this movie. You need to be really sad and dour for the entire time. And it's like, well, that's not what I want. I don't want. This is like, hey, we're gonna have a really depressed Spider-Man for 2 hours, and it's like I don't think anybody's really pining for that.
Right.
I think her story was well told in some ways though, because she did have a lot of things she had to get closure with, and you did see like some of that sarcasm that we've grown to love from Yelena. But
John,
she had stuff with her dad that she just didn't really resolve, and Natasha, so it had to get resolved.
I will say this: they did center the story around her. I feel like she's kind of the hook for me. Like she's the reason I'm going to see this because of how good. Like anytime that compilation of like 3.5 minutes of Yelena being iconic, I have to watch the entire thing. And it's like that was I think what we all want when we go to see it. And again, you're right. I mean, they did let a little bit of that shine through, but like, man, I was kind of just hoping for a more swashbuckling Yelena. Obviously, that's not the tone of the movie. But
I would have taken like
John. Hold on, JD. John, you had a thought.
Oh yeah, that Screen Crush, is that what they're called? Yeah, video talked about how Taskmaster was cut really late in the process, and a bunch of her scenes throughout the movie were with Ghost. So Taskmaster getting killed early in the movie was a late development. So then Ghost lost a bunch of scenes, which to me was a bummer because I was interested in learning more about her and seeing her go through emotional trauma, dealing with stuff like all the other characters got to.
Did they talk about why they cut her at all, or do we have any idea?
No, maybe. All that video said was maybe for length, and then to show that the stakes were real in this movie and that people could die.
Yeah, but I suppose one way to if you've got an extra 15 minutes on your runtime and you're like, oh shit, we got to get this down, and you realize that you've got a character who only interacts with one other character for the entire movie. That's an easy way to cut that 15 minutes. You just axe that character right away. And then it's like, whoop, there you go. We've lost 3 entire scenes.
Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit outside of both sides in many ways, but I guess that the other side of this is why, like, I guess James, and then maybe this is like a lost opportunity, we'll never know. The reason why like James Gunn made Guardian of the Galaxy great was because, he took all these B-list characters and maybe you didn't really care about them much at all. And you made, and the movie made you care about them. Who knows what could have happened, to be honest with you, depending on what direction they went over. Maybe we'd be talking about Taskmaster in a whole other light at this point. But, like you said, Joe,
right.
It was what it was. They made a decision. We don't know if it was the right decision or not at this point, so we don't see that cut.
I mean, Taskmaster is the easiest character to cut because she was the only one that really had no personality. Like they had not given the time, they had not taken the time to build that character. And so she was an easy sacrifice to make, but it would have been it would have been nice for that character to be allowed to develop in the MCU, but
it's difficult when you introduce the character as a mystery that like the identity of of Taskmaster is like someone we don't know and have never met. Do you know what I mean? And so I think they kind of screwed up from the jump with Black Widow, and now this is just like, yeah, we need to just write her out. So we just kill her. You know, that seems to be the easiest thing. It's just unfortunate because I would have loved to see more Ghost too. I think that lady's great who plays her.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest loss there, because while I agree with you, I think Frank, with the Guardians, and yeah, there's some difference or distance between the Guardians we see in the MCU and the Guardians we get in the comics. There's nothing as far from 616 Taskmaster and MCU Taskmaster. Those are two very, very different things. So I don't think it's necessarily a 100% comparison. But so I'm not really mourning the loss of Taskmaster, but I am mourning the loss of the scenes that they were in so that we could get more of all of the characters, because that was my main hang up with the Thunderbolts movie. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it, but it felt uneven as far as like I felt like it was really kind of a Walker and Yelena movie, and everyone else was kind of there.
You're right.
More like a Red Guardian and Yelena, in my opinion.
No, Red Guardian Walker was pretty much there as like
it was like the terrific. It was like the terrific trio plus these other characters that are hanging around, right? Yeah. You know, and Red. So Red, you're right. The three like patriotic insert characters. You know, the two Russian agents and the American agent, and then the hangers on. And I mean, right. But I mean, that's also, you know, those are the characters of all of the characters in the movie. Those are the three that are the most well developed. And so, I don't know. I agree, though. I agree that there's a lot of missed opportunity with some of the lower tier, or, you know, I don't want to say lower tier, but you know what I mean. Like the characters in the MCU that aren't Captain America, that aren't Hawkeye, that aren't Thor. Like I think that there are a lot of missed opportunities with these characters that could be used in a better way, and so that they're not just like throwaway. Like swordsman, and and time will tell on that because he's in Daredevil. But I mean, we didn't know that at the time. Like we had Jacques Duquesne. He gets a sword, and everybody who reads comics is like, that guy's the swordsman, and then nothing happens with it. Hawkeye, it's years later that finally Daredevil comes around and like, oh shit, Jacques Duquesne is in this. You know, like nobody thought we were going to see. When no one ever thought that they were going to see the swordsman again, and here he is. Well, but
we know that the peak is going to come in Doomsday when he meets Mantis, and then we get like plant babies. So it's going to be great.
yeah, exactly.
I did come up with a really funny theory about Red Guardian, though. If you overlay the timeline of Stranger Things with Black Widow, it's very, very possible that Hopper's time in Russia turned him into Red Guardian.
Oh man, I would have loved to see that alternate universe.
I love that kind of matchup.
They gave the steroids. They beat up the.
That's a whole lot of time spent talking about a movie that came out a year ago. I mean, look, I'll talk about the MCU all day long. But so Peacemaker. Let's talk about the most recent episode of Peacemaker. It was billed as the origin of the quantum unfolding space, and it's not exactly. It's really just the origin of how Peacemaker's family got a hold of it. Which is cool enough, but like, so spoilers for the most recent episode of Peacemaker if you have not seen it. they just find some random alien while hunting in the forest. And it's never explained what this alien is or where it came from. It's just got this device that opens up a portal to another space, a pocket dimension, whatever. And maybe we will see more about this creature. Maybe we won't. I kind of feel like James Gunn is doing a lot of throwaway stuff on his own in the DCU so far, like the Mr. Handsome character from Superman, Peacemaker's weird neighbor that's burning alien squirrels or whatever, and then this other thing that had the portal. It's like, and that's fine. I'm at that stage of the new DCU. I'm at that stage of like, I desperately want explanations and I want things to connect.
Yeah. So it depends on who you listen to, because obviously this entire episode has spawned a whole bunch of people talking about theories about exactly what this device is and how it ties into things. One theory, and I don't know about this one in particular, somebody is claiming that this might be a version of the boom tube that has been revealed. Because you notice, like when he opens up the new one, or he moves it, it sucks things in, and then it just kind of goes blue.
It takes a deep breath and then it explodes. Yeah,
right. Just like the boom tube from from Apocalypse. So some people are saying this is the first introduction into like Apocalypse technology. Also, they also deliberately did not mention, because when Adebayo asked about the helmet, who made that? And he says, oh, that's complicated. Somebody, and this is a real far out there, I don't know about this one. Somebody says on that same note, could they be a version of again, Apocalypse technology, maybe even similar to Orion's helmet? And somehow his dad like snatched it out of one of the dimensions and retrofitted it.
Because up until this point, I think the assumption has always been that, and the show has explicitly told us, my dad makes me stuff. And so we just assumed that Jason Patrick was making these helmets, these devices. Or Robert Patrick, sorry. Jason Patrick is the guy from the Lost Boys.
Not that guy.
They're brothers, though, which is fun.
Yes.
Yeah, Robert Patrick, T2. Yeah, they're brothers. Like obviously big age difference, but in this episode, Chris explicitly says to Adebayo, "No, my dad's just some like shit kicker redneck, whatever. He's just some guy." And so those helmets came from somewhere else. And we don't know where. And I can't now. The boom tube idea makes a lot of sense, especially considering the fucking thing explodes when it opens up. But I can't believe it's taken me this long to realize that it could also be just a door, like the Authority.
Yes, actually, that too.
And if he walked into the room, opened up his closet, and just said the word door, and a glowing portal appeared, I would have lost it. But it's literally a door, and so I don't know. I think boom tube's probably more likely. But
some type of Apocalypse technology, like even
or more plausible, right? Yeah, I don't think it's exactly that either, because boom tubes are like
very distinct looking.
Yeah, they're tube shaped, right?
Very distinct looking.
But this is certainly this technology. I think where it comes from is probably important, and I hope that we get answers for it at some point.
There was, and I'm going to share this because this is not my idea. There's even another crazy idea. Well, not so much about the portal, because portal is just like, we're going to find out, maybe there's other alien races, maybe not. But the helmets, now, who's the guy that they said was going to play Booster Gold? That's been rumored in the DCU.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, right. So this this YouTuber by the name of Jenna, we actually were talking about her a little bit, but her latest video.
Jenna reads comics, yeah.
Yes, she's great. She mentioned that there was a part of her, because they were hearing rumors about him being on set and things, and she's like, it might tie into a movie that she's theorizing, you might not even think about. So Blue Beetle. There's one character in there that has never been cast in there, even though he's very omnipresent. That was Ted Cord. I'm assuming that you saw that movie, right, Joe?
Yep.
The Blue Beetle
Ted
movie?
Cord, right, for sure.
Yeah. So what she might be fearing, because at the end he said that he couldn't get out of somewhere or whatever, is that those helmets may have been technology that he was trying to build, and somehow Augie got a hold of it, and maybe even the blueprints or whatever, and he basically trapped Ted. And then one part of it is like when they start exploring all these things, he's going to pop out, and it's just like, I got to get back to my daughter.
You know what? I like that, because thematically that is very satisfying, because Ted Cord is also a Charlton character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Kumail Nanjiani, everyone's saying he's Booster Gold, but he could be Ted Cord.
Ooh.
Because and that's the thing. His daughter wasn't like a straight up like white girl, to be completely blunt. She's definitely like a mixed race or whatever. They never really showed him like pictures of him.
Yeah. I'd also be fine if Ted Cord was like, if Kumail is Booster, that's fine, but we get somebody else that's like of that same like fun level of comedian, or a peer of Kumail's to play Ted Cord, like that. I think that would be a fun duo as well. Yep. But I'm good either. I'm good with that. I think that's a fun idea. Ted being a Charlton character, and him being the guy that designed all of Peacemaker's stuff without
really
Chris
being
knowing
there
it is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thought. Speaking of Jenna Reads Comics, and I'm not trying necessarily to change the subject, but if it does, that's okay. Jenna Reads Comics is also the YouTuber that had a very in-depth interview with Matt Fraction.
Yes.
In the wake of the release of Batman #1, where he revealed that the Alfred that we were all freaking out about last week
the AI
is
Alfred.
just in Bruce's imagination.
Oh shit! He basically became Peacemaker from the old comics at this point. He's just talking to his dead butler.
It's like, so he's like, he referred to, so Fraction. Okay, so anyway, Peacemaker. The door. Let me back up to Peacemaker, and then we'll move to Batman real quick. It's a fine episode. Other than seeing where the door comes from, there's not a whole lot to it. So it's kind of like a mid-season episode. I like the relationship between Adebayo and Chris a lot. Like, I like their friendship, and so
he tells her everything, to say the least. Which is great.
It's true.
Yeah, that's best friend. I mean, Vigilante is also his best friend, but
Vigilante. Yeah, right.
He's buying doors like randomly because he told him.
Yeah, to. Right. Like, go buy a bunch of door frames from Home Depot, and we'll set this thing up.
Captain of Cultural Appropriation, though, I have to mention this.
Oh, right. Yeah.
My coworker. So I do like the fact that they just outright calls him out on this. Like, this is a white dude who's basically just dressing up as a Native American. And, up to that point, no one actually thought that he was like anything serious. But when he did that fucking he conducts a ritual, and he psychically connects and shit. It's weird. Oh, just like, what is happening right now? Although I still believe Eagly is going to completely fuck him up when they finally do. Prime Eagly, the Prime Eagle, as he calls him.
Prime Eagle, yeah. Prime Eagle. So, Economos, Ginger Cool, right? Makes up this ridiculous story about there being a second eagle, like a second gunman on the grass.
He's like, who hit me?
That clocks Michael Rooker in the back of the head from before he can shoot Eagly. It's like, oh yeah, there was another eagle.
That's impossible.
But eagles are but eagles are solitary creatures. Unless you're talking about, legends tell stories of the prime eagle.
It rules all the other eagles.
It's so funny. And so another thing, since Mark brings it up, I forgot to go back and look to confirm that there are few to no brown people in the alternate dimension, as we discussed last week. I still want to do that. In this week's episode, they do not go into the alternate Earth at all, so we don't see it. We don't see it at all.
Because I saw a clip. Oh, hey Joe.
Hey, hi.
I saw it. I saw a clip on like Facebook earlier where he was like riding his motorcycle down the middle of a town street, and people were like waving at him, and some like flashes him, and then like in the one of the comments was like, yeah, anybody notice like zero diversity in that crowd? And I'm like, wait, has it been confirmed yet?
So people are noticing. I don't think that's. I don't think it's an accident. It can't be an accident because now lots of people are pointing it out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm almost certain. And I did like though that I think it's still going to be the Earth X kind of version of the DCU that's going to be revealed. But I did like how Adebayo also kind of floated the idea. Maybe it's a dimension where all of your your dreams kind of are come true, and it's still all in your head. Which is, I'm not going to say that's the case, but that could be possible too at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, right now we don't know. I think. I think the fact that we see characters moving around and doing things separately from Chris in that world points to it being like a real place, like a real place.
Yeah, I mean, he brought a cell phone back from there. So.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's like, well, we see Harcourt have a conversation with Rick Flag, and Rick's nowhere near them, and we see enough thing. We see the Sons of Liberty spring into action with their master plan kind of thing. And so like, I think if it were all in his head, it would be kind of like, there would be like a sixth sense sort of visual cue where it's like, you don't see anybody interacting with other people when Chris is not nearby. It's like he's in every scene, which means it could all be something he's imagined. But no, we see things happening without him. So
yeah, I'm still, the money is still bet that we're going to reveal it's a fascist regime at this point. And
I think Man in the High Castle. Yeah, Earth X, as we talked about last week, is an Earth in the DC multiverse where the Nazis win. And so it could be, a very similar kind of situation. And I would not be surprised. So we will see. Yep. So Batman, Jenna Reed's Comics did this interview with Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction said, Alfred's not an AI. Alfred is a figment of Bruce's imagination. He's Bruce's Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, fuck.
And one way to interpret that is that it's no big deal. He's just like thinking back on this memory of his mentor and using him as a moral compass, yada, yada, yada. Another way to look at it is he's having full on conversations and visualizing this dead man out in the world. And that's a fucking problem.
He's lost his, now he's gone.
Right. And so I think that's a very interesting revelation from Fraction that he just straight up said, nope, it's all in Bruce's mind. So
that's so when he meets with the Justice League and he's just like, hold on a second, I gotta ask Alfred this question.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, I'm not sure who mentioned it a second ago, but yeah, like what we talked about the first half of the Peacemaker.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we talked about the first half of the Peacemaker miniseries in this week's episode, and he's like just having full on conversations out loud within earshot of normal human beings with his dead Nazi father, and they're like, "Yep, Peacemaker's crazy."
Well, we still need him. So just make him do what he needs to do.
Sure, right. It's like, yep, we all know that he is completely off of his meds. He's gone around the bend. The train does not pull all the way into the station. And that's okay, though. We need him to go kill this terrorist. It's like, okay, well, boy, that's a problem of another. That's a whole different kind of problem. But
yeah, it's all good. Hopefully, he has a. I'm sure he won't see a psychologist, but I'm sure he has a few on retainer if he ever kind of detailed.
You would think. I'm here to tell you spoilers for the end of the Peacemaker miniseries from 1988. The problem does not go away. But that's a conversation for a couple weeks from now.
Lovely.
Let's move on to Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. The finale was this Wednesday, episode 10, I guess, right?
Yes.
And it was sort of a continuation of the episode from a few weeks ago, where they find that sort of dimension disconnected from time and space with the alien parasites.
It was a prison.
Right. Yeah. The prison.
Sort of
right.
Interdimensional prison. Yeah.
And I keep wanting to call them the Vecna, but Vecna is the villain from Stranger Things. So I don't remember if that's the name.
Yeah.
It's the Vesta, I think.
The Vesta, yeah. It's my brain is like the Vecna, or the Vorcha of the Vorcha or Mass Effect aliens. So that's not right either.
That's right. I forgot about
that. But yeah, the Vesta, yeah.
Yeah, I think this episode was, well, I mean, let's look at it as the whole season itself was sort of very experimental. You know, they did a lot of things. They took big swings. They some of them were like wildly successful. Some of them were, just okay. I thought overall the whole season was good. My favorite episodes are the one with the let's call it the Enemy Mine episode. I thought that was a great episode.
Yeah, that was last week's, right?
Yeah. I thought it was great. It's a nice lead in. Like, if you haven't seen Arena, you should watch Arena, and you'll see what the Gorn used to look like.
Oh, right. I think everybody is familiar with the memes of the Gorn, or like the Gorn Mego toy, right? You've seen, I've never seen that episode, but I knew that the Gorn just kind of looked like the Marvel Comics lizard, but with a different outfit.
Well, yeah, I'll segue a little bit. Like when Mego put out the Gorn, it literally was a Klingon with a brown lizard's head, like from the Spider-Man lizard.
The Spider-Man lizard, yeah.
Mego finally updated the Gorn about 5 years ago and released a screen accurate Gorn, which was cool.
Hey.
But yeah, I had to pick one up, so I got one. But I will say, I really enjoyed, really loved this season. I thought it was great. I'm gonna love everything Star Trek, but that's just me.
I mean, same here, man.
Yeah, I think this was a good episode. I thought that they should have, like, that bit with Pike and Batel where they like live this entire life. That should have been the whole episode.
Yes, I agree.
Bookended by like 5 minutes at the beginning and 5 minutes at the end, because that was so compelling.
That was the meat, right?
Good. That, like, I think like squeezing it down to half an hour was like, oh man, I want more of this. I loved every moment of it. It was like, they actually, I was listening to one podcast and they were saying like they should have started with that and not even told you anything, not even giving you any clue about what was going on. And just, you would have been like, well, what just happened here? Where are we going with this? How, I don't get it. And then maybe like maybe the last 10 minutes of the episode was the wrap up.
Yeah, right.
But
it was a very Deep Space Nine kind of thing, right? Or a next gen, like Picard living the life where he learns to play the flute, or the Visitor from Deep Space Nine, where we see Jake.
Oh yeah, very high.
And it's just like
concept.
It's very it was a lot like that. It reminded me of those episodes, and I really liked Batel's whole arc this season. I thought, and I loved, like, I love that we kind of like started out with like this, oh fuck, it's the Gorn.
Yeah.
And now we're like, you know what? Maybe the Gorn, we just don't know how to talk to the Gorn, maybe.
Yeah,
and now it's like, oh, maybe the Gorn are actually like saving people, like the Gorn are the ancient enemies of this like cosmic race of parasites, and thank God for the Gorn. It's just like
you watch.
It's quite a roller coaster ride where the Gorn are concerned.
It is, and I believe that the Gorn and the Federation do become allied in the future, in like Next Generation time.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. I think there's no hard evidence except for like a mention here and there, and I think in TNG,
the fact that we go 15 years between those Next Gen era shows and all of the movies without anybody mentioning the Gorn.
Right. Well, Lower Decks actually has, there's like some Gorn stuff in there. They like you see a couple of Gorn on a space station walking around.
And Gorn is Next Gen era, right? Because they talk about Riker. They talk about like the Riker maneuver.
Yeah, Lower Decks is Next Gen. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. But overall, I thought that, the episode that there was one thing about that they like. I thought, what I thought? I thought that bringing back Gamble was interesting and really, really well done. However, I thought that it lost a little bit of the punch because of the time, the amount of time that elapsed between the last episode where he died and this episode.
Right.
So it didn't have as much gravitas to it. But what do you it is what it is. Overall, really, the end with Pike just having to deal with his destiny. Oh, the one thing I wanted to mention was like she comes to this conclusion about what's happened to her really quickly, and I'm like, and people, and some criticism I've heard is like, well, she just seems to like rattle off these things. It was very, it seemed like it was too quick, and I'm like, well, she sort of had this moment of realization of what she is when Gamble sort of blasted that energy bolt at her, and she got that stars in her eyes.
And we've seen her have these like feelings, right? These moments of it's not sense memory. It's almost like there's this concept called like racial memory, where it's like, oh, I'm connected because of this like genetic fluke to this history, and so like I know I have a sense of this history because of that connection, and so we've seen moments where she kind of like taps into this Gorn knowledge, because she's now part Gorn, and I really liked her arc, and we like the ending, I was like, that tracks. That makes sense. That's how that has to end for her. Because I remember thinking halfway through the episode, it's like, man, Pike is really all in on this romance when he knows he's got like maybe 5 years to go.
I remember there was the moment where she's hitting the heavy bag, and I'm like, we're not going to see her after this episode. Like that's the moment I knew that was her. That she was done, that this was the end of her arc.
Yep.
And it was. I thought she was going to get killed. I didn't think she was going to become, this time space entity, which I think
she's cool. I thought it was, I thought it was, you're right. I thought it was a cool ending to a character that I enjoyed, and I have no complaints. Because I knew like Pike cannot have, a wife, or like Pike knows his time is limited.
Right.
And so we're going to get to a point now where we will probably see Pike like, like a dog, when a dog knows it's about to die, it'll like go away and it'll like detach. Like, I wonder if we will see Pike as we get near the end, him kind of like pushing away his friends and things like that. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how that happens.
I think season 5 is going to be really interesting. I have a feeling the reason why they're doing a short season for season 5 is because they're going to do this is just speculation on my part. I haven't heard any rumors, but I think they're gonna kind of like dovetail into it, like the Kirk Star Trek era.
The modern take. We talked about that a little bit.
Right. I think that's what's going to happen.
And that's essentially what Discovery did for Strange New Worlds that one season.
Yeah.
When the whole second half of Discovery season 2 is essentially about the Enterprise and not the Discovery. Right. And that dovetailed into this series. And I think you're totally right that they're going to kind of like backdoor it into its own show.
Right. Is of course if the management up at whatever Skydance.
Right. If Paramount gets their heads out of their asses and realizes that all anybody wants is modern takes on the primed timeline of Star Trek.
Exactly.
It's look, I'm all for change. Like I'm all for change. In my youth, I used to be a hardcore continuity guy, and I got mad when things got changed. I have mellowed out. I'm like, I get it. There's room for everything under the sun. Whatever. Alternate takes, alternate worlds. Give me Chris Pine. Give me Zachary Quinto. It's all good. But I want give me more of the prime timeline. I want to see what happens after the end of Deep Space Nine. Right. Or after the end of Star Trek Nemesis, or in between the cancellation of the original series and the beginning of Next Gen. Like I want to see that shit.
I do too. And there's a lot of people like me out there. It's like, and like you out there, because there's still more opportunity for story here. There was a TV show. They were going to relaunch Star Trek as a TV show in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's called Phase 2. And
yes, I remember.
Yeah. And there's all this all this new stuff coming out.
There's a whole book about it. There's a whole book of like concept art and stuff.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That was published.
And I love it. I love all that stuff. But there are several stories. Like if you listen to Larry Nemechek, he talks about, these were stories that were for Phase 2 that they sort of like morphed into Next Gen stories and morphed into the movie, the Star Trek, the motion picture. But there's other story concepts that they had that they would have used for this Phase 2 show. And I'm like, I want to see that stuff. I want to read those scripts. I want to see those things acted out. I love all the test footage that you see and the Enterprise, like the bridge redesign is just incredible looking. And they built those things. They built those sets and they tore them down after, when they decided to make it a movie, which to me is like, all right, it's 40 years ago, but like, why would they do that? But it's like because I think it's because they needed higher quality builds for the movie, because television, you can forgive a lot of stuff.
Right. But with movies, you have there's less forgiving, really.
You want to see something funny? There's this. I was watching the last episode of Strange New Worlds, and it just how it'll just autoplay into the next thing. So it autoplayed into the episode Shore Leave, where they go down to the planet and everything's like everybody's like kind of imagination comes true. But the first 2 minutes of the episode is Kirk complaining about his back hurts. And he's like, oh, yeah, my back is killing me. And there's a yeoman standing behind him, and she starts to rub his back. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's the spot. And Spock is standing next to the yeoman. So Spock takes 2 steps forward. Kirk looks over, sees Spock, and goes, realizes it's the yeoman and not Spock. He thought Spock was rubbing his back. I was like, I never picked up on that when I saw that 100 times as a kid. And then I'm seeing that and I'm going, oh my God, that's hilarious. He thought it was Spock because he and Spock have such a close relationship.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And here's this yeoman. It's like borderline sexual harassment.
Right.
He's like, that'll be enough, yeoman.
Yeah.
Like he literally is freaking out.
So while we're on the topic of Star Trek, my buddy Ben is reading this book, and it's like the oral history. It's an oral history of various Star Trek things like Voyager and the cancellation of Voyager and how it was. Oh no, sorry. This is a book about it's a book about Enterprise. And he's reading this book, and the oral history is hilarious because I don't know if you've read a lot of oral histories, but one of my favorite things is where it's like person A says this big thing about something related to the show, and then person B has like a one-line like counterpoint that that throws everything the first person said into doubt, and it's very, very funny to me when that happens. And so one of the things is they're talking about how people felt before they found out that Enterprise was canceled. And one person says, when they took away the daily fruit basket, I knew we were in trouble. Like they used to get a fruit basket delivered every day to set. And so, and then the next person is like, it was a $20 fruit basket that went to the writers every day. It was nothing. It was just like, that was the sign that Enterprise was in trouble, that they stopped getting $20 worth of fruit a week.
That's hilarious.
And then there's another thing about how they wanted the Enterprise theme song is infamous. It's terrible. It's a Diane Warren song called "Faith of the Heart," and
I kind of love it, but sorry,
it's so cheesy. It's been a long road. Yeah, it's awful.
I agree, but I kind of love it. I don't know why.
The song was supposed to be "Beautiful Day" by U2, which is an amazing song, but obviously the cost of licensing "Beautiful Day" for the theme song of your sci-fi show that goes into syndication is prohibitive. And so they got this, like Diane Warren, a very famous songwriter. Diane Warren was a Star Trek fan, and she gave them "Faith of the Heart" for almost nothing. And that's why Enterprise has that theme song.
That's interesting.
Which is so funny to me.
It is 100% the cheesiest song, and I at the time I was like, why are they singing? Why is there singing in a Star Trek theme? Why?
I know.
Why?
It's like, where are my oboes and my cellos?
Right. And I got you once I got used to it, I got to like it because I liked the series. It's like it was a very maligned series, and I want to like kind of walk back a comment I made a couple of years ago when I said it's a really great series. Season 3 and 4? The last 2 seasons are phenomenal, or just amazing. And then I think Matt had said something like, "Well, that last episode." I'm like, I will say this: I went back and watched that last episode. It is not as bad as people make it out to be.
Yeah. So.
There is a
just for clarity for people that don't know, like the last episode of Star Trek Enterprise, they reveal that Riker and Troy?
Riker and Troy, yeah.
Were actually like reading this or watching this.
Right.
And there's an implication, right? But there's an implication. I think there's like a knee-jerk reaction that it's like, oh no, all of Enterprise is fake.
That was one assumption. The other, and people like, well, you just completely undercut the entire series by doing that, because you're just showing us that this was all just some historical document that Riker and Troy had been watching. And I don't think that's necessarily true. But I think what's true is that Riker had gone back to kind of look at decision makings during tough times to make a decision, and he went back to Archer, and I thought that was a really interesting way to go.
I think there's room in that for it to be both, where it's like it can be Riker examining a historical document, but the key words here are historical document, which means it counts. Right? Like all the stuff we just watched still counts. It's not like it was a dream. It wasn't like a holodeck program. Well, it was a holodeck program, but
it was right.
But I mean, it was like a holodeck recreate. It wasn't like one of Data's like off-book Sherlock Holmes adventures. It was a telling of real events that happened, right?
Exactly.
And I think that you can view it in that way. And so I don't give it as much flack as a lot of people have.
It's actually a much better episode than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I like to I hear other people say, and I kind of like to think of it this way as well, is when we're watching, because people complain, well, the Enterprise doesn't look like the Enterprise in the 60s. I'm like, well, we're looking at it. Imagine if you will, that someone is telling you this story and someone's telling you this historical story, and they're using whatever technology to that they have at hand to create that story. So that's why original Star Trek looks the way it looks, and while Stranger Worlds, is takes place 10 years prior to that.
I mean, it's the same argument with the Star Wars prequels, right? Like, why do all the ships look so freaking amazing in the Star Wars prequels compared to the ones in the original trilogy? It's like, use your imagination is the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop being pedantic. Conversely to that, though, to bring it back to Alien Earth, I really love how that show embraces like the junky 70s.
God, I love it. I've seen 2 episodes.
DIY, like everything looks like garbage, especially on the ships.
Mm-hmm.
In the lab it's a little different, it's fancier, but the Maginot and the Nostromo, like they're weird, like all of the terminals look like light brights, like it's obviously very low budget stuff. And I love that the show has kind of embraced that aesthetic. They're just saying like, yeah, that's how it is. And everybody knows what these lights mean, and everybody knows how to read this terminal, and just go with it. And I think it's fabulous. But
I just started watching it a couple last week, and I watched 2 or 3 episodes. Oh my God, it's so good! And that's
you are in for a treat.
Oh man, I can't wait. Don't spoil anything. But one of the things I remember when I was a teenager was I remember watching this special on how Aliens was made, and Ridley Scott was talking about how he went in and took all of this equipment from the I think we're losing people here.
Yeah, that's right. It's about time to wrap up, but yeah, that's right.
From planes and old computer equipment, and just installed it into the Nostromo to make the Nostromo look old and lived in and like workable, and I thought that was like the genius of Ridley Scott is the texture that he added to things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that I see the same kind of thing happening with Alien Earth, where they're adding all these layers and layers of texture.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hey,
me too.
All right. Guys, that's a great point to end on. And we people slowly fell away, but that's okay. We went well past noon because we got a late start as I was figuring out the new technology. Thanks for being here. Thanks to those of you that participated, those of you that are hearing this that haven't come to the Gang Hang in person. You really should. It's a great time. Last thoughts before we go. Watch Alien Earth, watch Peacemaker, watch Star Trek, read Batman, and check out Ian Mondrick's Kickstarter for Tomb of the Pale Horse. It is live now, and I can attest to you, as somebody who has had a chance to read the whole series, it is fucking fantastic. It is this bleak horror nightmare and about like the end of the world and the 4 horsemen, and it is really quite special. And so check that out on Kickstarter. It's going strong right now. You can also find it at tombcomic.com, tombcomic.com. With that, I'm the Internet's Joe Patrick, alongside Frank Cirillo, Mark Stern, Damon Chan, Jonathan Sims, and our chatbot recording bear, whose name I forget. Oh, his name is Craig. It's right there. Yeah. Hi, Craig. This is the Two-Headed Nerd.
Thanks, guys.
Signing off.
Thanks. Take care.
Peace.
Adios, muchachos.
Bye.